Hello, this is Zeke777, and welcome back to Simple Magic 2. I think we're episode 44 now. Today, I am searching. I'm searching for something very particular. I'm looking for a Guardian dungeon. What is it called? The Ocean Monument from Vanilla Minecraft. I'm looking for one of those. I don't actually need it for spawning Guardians. In fact, I actually just grabbed a Guardian in a Vengeance box here, so if needed, I can always just do that. But I'm actually looking for Sponge. Specifically Sponge, because as far as I know, there's no crafting recipe for that. I really just need one because I have a way of getting more of them once I can get one, thanks to Ars Magica. But I have to actually find one to begin with. So I'm gonna be searching here for a little bit, and I'll come back if I see anything interesting. Well, I have explored a lot of ocean today, and I've found, well, nothing. I found these things here. This is a Doom-like dungeon, which is kind of cool. There's a ton of Guardian spawners here, which if I ever want to do that, I could use that. But I've been really looking for Sponge, is really the main thing I'm looking for. Lots of cool stuff in chests, but no sponges. What are you? Are you just a random outcropping type thing? Do apologize, it is a little hard to see down here. It's pretty hard for me as well. I already went through this one. Yeah, no, nothing interesting. I did find a bunch of water crystals down here, but like I said, nothing really of interest. I was hoping for sponges. So let's head back to base. So the question is, what do I need sponges for? Well, let's go out into our ocean here. Our base is just back there over that hill. And if you can see down here, we've got a little bit of lighting going on. This was one area I was looking at for the next site of my base, but I decided against that because it seemed, well, way too small. Instead, I found this area here. Now this is a deep ocean. So if we head down here, you can see it does go down, well, deep, aptly named. I think it goes down to like 30 or something, and it went around the entire edge just to kind of see how big this big basin is, and it's huge. Well, what's this? Well, I want a new part of my base. In fact, there's a couple things I've been wanting to do that on my to-do list I've had for quite a while, a mob facility. Mob studies, mob killing, mob whatever. So what I've got going on here is these are a bunch of rituals from blood magic. Go away. Didn't ask you. Really hard to hit these guys. Anyway, these things here are rituals from blood magic that basically create these domes. What it does is it creates a big bubble of air, and as soon as if I were to break this, in fact, do I have my activator on me? I do. If I break you, wait a little bit, this will just collapse down on itself. Should. There we go. Yeah, so it just cuts out that whole thing. Let's go ahead and put him back in Master Ritual Stone. Activate you again. We get our nice little bowl back. So, this area here is pretty much actually entirely temporary. I'm going to be kind of designing a big building here. And in the center, I'm going to have a deep pit, which is where I'm going to be tossing mobs. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with kind of a feel like from, Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace with the Gungan City. It's going to be something kind of similar to that. So it's going to be lots of these big bubbles. It's apparently also going to be a lovely squid farm. Go away. But I'm going to keep this mostly open. Like I said, there's no glass here. This is just water. You can just walk straight out. I kind of like the idea of it just being held open magically. This is going to be a constant drain on my LP reserves, but I think that's not too much of a problem, being as I'm right-clicking right now. Nothing's happening. It's not changing. These things do consume, I want to say, 80 LP per second, but I'm getting several thousand, I think, per second coming in, so I'm not too worried about it. Hit you? Maybe? Yeah. But we need to design an area for this. And like I said, this is going to be kind of a temporary, these domes. I just kind of set them up just to see what kind of scale I've got here. This is from 5 of these rituals. As far as I know, you can't modify the size. In older versions, I think you could, but in this one here, even if you put will on it, at least according to the code, it does not seem to affect the radius. So it's going to be just lots of bubbles like this. But yeah, we're gonna need to design a base. Alright, so let's start off by doing a little testing. So in the very center here, if I place down a bucket of water, let's see how far it goes. So it does go a little bit further. I think this is actually where it ends. Okay, so it'll go here. What's the purpose of that? Well, my plan is, in the middle here, there's going to be a big pit, which is going to be where I'll have various things falling into. For the most part, I'm going to have most of my mob spawning stuff. It's actually not going to exist. It's going to be the furnace thing like I had back at the regular base, using these dark blood bricks. But there's some other things I'd like to try out. So one of those is I want to, instead of using water down here, we're going to use some liquid death, because it's not something I've really used before. So it's just kind of a fun thing, but I believe it does flow as far as water does. So by placing this down, we can see it goes out to, like I said, here. And so if we do that, let's clear out the area that it is actually flowing to. So let's do a big square. We've got one corner cleared out here. So my goal is to get pretty much complete coverage without using, tons of buckets, because this stuff is kind of expensive. So water, if I place it there, it will fill in the entire thing, which is awesome. I don't really need to care too much about where everything flows, because simply standing in the liquid death will kill them, so that's good enough. But I think that'll work. I can use probably, I think, 5 buckets. One thing I do want to test, actually, before I get too carried away with that, is I do want to see if I can chisel it. I know there's chiseled fluids, and I want to see if the liquid death effect will still work if it's as a chisel thing. I'm not sure if it will. I don't think it will, actually, but it's always worth a shot, because that can save us some effort. But we've got this area here. There's a guardian. Go away. Yeah, stupid guardians keep trying to hit me. Yeah, we've got that. Like I said, this where these rituals are actually set up right now is pretty much just entirely temporary. I do want the whole thing lifted off of the seabed, but this will give me a little bit of room to actually build some stuff without having to worry about swimming and all that. So I've outlined the area here with glowstone. It's just going to be where that square is for the hole, and I want to see what happens if I do this. So let's go ahead, grab our ritual stones here, master ritual stone in the middle. I kind of want to see what it's going to do. So let's fill you in with the ritual and activate it, of course. And let's see. So when I do that, that should bump everything up, which is kind of cool. What's that look like from outside? Kind of like that. Now my question is, what happens if I break the one underneath it? Because this is a ritual of suppression. It doesn't actually get rid of water as far as I know. So I'm thinking when I break this, it's going to flood the bottom half. I'm not really sure what that's going to do. But let's see. Let's stand over here. That's kind of cool looking, I guess, but I'm not really sure what to do about it. So again, this is why I was kind of hoping for some sponges, because this would be pretty easy to clean up with sponges, but is that going to be an issue? Probably. I do like it up here. In fact, I'll actually probably have another of these up higher than as well, because everything's going to be lifted up. But I still want it to be well below the surface. But I kind of like the center one higher like that. Anyway, let me build a little bit more, and we'll see what we've got. So suppression ritual being what it is, only suppressing liquids, not actually getting rid of them. Let's go ahead and put these where they're actually going to be anyway. Because I think what it's going to be, I'm going to have kind of the same shape as this, but just everything moved up by, what was that, 4 blocks or so? I haven't really counted, just kind of it looked good. Fill you in, let's activate you, which should bump everything up. It's kind of cool on its own. And now let's break this, which is then going to flood this whole area down below, which is fine. Eventually, there we go. So that is now flooded, which works. You're fine? Okay, good. That flows back. Because really, I want to be able to have it look like it's, everything's floating here. This isn't going to be just like a pillar down to the ground, the whole area. But I do want it to be a little floating island. So from the outside, it'll be kind of maybe a rounded thing on the bottom part, but it is going to be mostly water. This way I don't have to actually fill it back in. So that is one. Let's get the other 3. There we go. Everything is now bumped up by 4 blocks or so. I think this middle one's actually 1 block higher, because now I've got these little, almost like blades of water, which is kind of cool. That's just kind of suspended there. I'll probably do some sort of architectural thing around that, because have like maybe like a spike going halfway up, so it still looks like it's held up by magic, but there's still something there. Yeah, so that's in progress. I need to break out that still, but let's figure out what we want for the actual block and the design of this place. One thing that's going to make picking out a color palette for this a little more difficult is this guy. The spirit furnace is going to be, well, it's going to be fairly everywhere. I'm going to have to build quite a few of these, which is going to actually cost me quite a lot in terms of the dark gems required to build this. So I'm going to need a lot of that, but what can I mix with this? I mean, there's dark stone, but the black isn't quite right. This is kind of a different color. There's the various destructive and the will stone, so some polished raw stone perhaps. I was thinking maybe that might go with kind of the aquamarine color of the water. I'm not sure about glowstone. So I do want something yellowish, but I don't know. I'll probably get a different texture for that. Do I have my chisel on me? What all do we have? Chisel, thank you. If I take you, and let's throw you in here, what do I have that's a little less obnoxious? This one here is kind of a more subtle. That's just going to be solid. Although this, I think, if I go with this guy, I think this might actually be a connected texture. Maybe? No, not at all. Nope, and that's, no. Let's see, what have I got? How about ornate? What do you look like? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to play around with this a bit. I might just go with regular glowstone, but it's kind of messy. It's almost like a honeycomb type texture. That might work. We'll see. My plan is to use this pretty much only around where there's an interaction between a block and water. So this will be around the edges, but otherwise not really elsewhere. Most of my lighting, well, the lighting around the edges will be from that, and we'll have to figure out what else I need for light. But yeah, this is gonna be kind of difficult. Let me actually carry some of these blocks over there and see what it looks like. There's one mod in here that I haven't actually touched yet, which is the Waystones mod. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea how to use it, but let's try. So Warpstone takes purple, ender pearl, and emeralds. So let's make a handful of those. They apparently don't stack. A little annoying. Let's see. I think that also needed obsidian. So let's get 12 obsidian. And let's also get 12 stone brick, which isn't a thing apparently. No big deal, we can simply turn this into stone brick. So let's toss out our prismarine, and let's see if we can make these guys. So if I'm lucky, they'll stack, but I'm probably not too lucky. Oh, they do, awesome. Okay, so let's make all these guys. Now I believe, and again, I have no clue, I believe these guys should basically function as you place it down and then you can just kind of warp from one to another. There's probably a multi-block. Enter waypoint name, let's say home. Okay. So if I right click you, activate Waystone. That was weird. Okay. So if I shift right click, do I get anything? Now I'd kind of assume that there's some sort of like maybe a network of these guys, but well, let's see what happens. So if I take another waystone and we'll put you here, why not? Pretty sure you exist. Yes? No? There's a waystone here. Okay. You did not prompt me for a name, which is a little weird, and you're also not quite visible. Let's place down a block nearby. Let's see if it'll refresh. No? Okay, a little weird. Let me relog. Okay, so let's see if this works. So if I place down the other stone here, we are going to name you, I haven't come up with a name for this place yet. Mob area? Mob thing. Mob city. That works. Cool. So that is now placed. If I, for some reason it does that, but there is only two here. Two. If I right click, that should activate it. Now, if I right click you, it doesn't really do anything, but I have a warp stone here. I made an extra one. This thing has a cooldown. So what you can do is when this is ready, you would pull it back, kind of like a bow and arrow, and you would then be able to pick which one you go to. So we've got this guy here. Let me put down a little bit of light just so that we don't get anything spawning in here. You go there. I think right there should work. I haven't really decided on what I actually want this area to look like yet, but for now I'm just kind of playing around with raw stone. I did make a spirit furnace here just to kind of activate it and see what it looks like. It looks as out of place as I was expecting, but that's kind of going to be the case. Let me place you as well. There we go. Now once this thing is completely filled up with the cooldown of 30 seconds left, then I should be able to just teleport back to home, which should save me a little bit of time. Now, this is not as useful as I was hoping, actually. Honestly, I was hoping that I'd be able to kind of just like right-click you and say, hey, send me to this other one. But that doesn't seem to be how this thing works, unfortunately. But yeah, let me kind of build a little bit more here. Let me at least fill this in. Well, the gateway stones are kind of, I don't know, they're not as nice as I was hoping. Basically, I was hoping to be able to just have a thing I can just walk up to and hit go and warp me over, which it wasn't going to do. I needed to either have the thing in my inventory, which had a 2-minute cooldown, or I would have to, I guess, there's a setting I can do like a warp from my inventory, but that's a little kind of cheaty. I'd like to have to actually walk somewhere. So what am I doing right now? I'm looking for, not building aids, I'm looking for tools. Where are my tools? Specifically, I want my resonating wand. Come on. You made the noise. Open up. That's a little troubling. Well, like I was saying, the warp gate thingies, they are also buggy. One thing is I had actually right-clicked on one shortly before starting that clip, and it seems, well, when I had originally placed them down, I wasn't able to break blocks around it and all that. I think it kind of has like a weird desync issue, because now I can open it up just fine. So let me grab my resonating wand. So again, that's kind of a reason why I'm not going to be using those. They seem like they'd be the right thing, but that's not going to work. Now, another thing is, I don't know if this is actually going to work. We've got a gateway that we're going to be setting up here, and I don't know if it'll actually work because we're underwater. I could, of course, kind of commandeer the pirate ship up above there and set a little warp gate up there, but that's always an option. Can't shift click, you go in. We're going to make a couple of these just because I like to not have to come back and craft these things, but let me craft up these and I will put together a gateway, and we'll be right back. What have we gotten done the last between the last few clips? Well, we went over here, and as you can see, we've got a little bit of progress going on here. I was able to hollow out this area here, which I wanted to finish off draining it here, but if you notice, I only have that one ritual up there. So previously, I had a ritual kind of in the middle here as well. The thing is that this is not a thing that gets rid of water. This is a thing that suppresses water. It's a careful distinction there, because when I got rid of that middle one, it flooded the whole area. Because even though there was air up above it, and there's air on all the sides, it's still water, technically. So, like where I'm standing right now, this is water. A kind of weird side effect of that is, if I try to use my little mage light here, it doesn't work, because this isn't air. So it's kind of a weird thing there, whereas in here, this is actually air, because I went through and I filled this whole area up with sand. All that to say, I get to lose my little, I have these little water things here. So if I actually break this, that's going to just flow out, because previously the middle one was suppressing that and just holding it here, but since I don't have that anymore, I now have this. So kind of a shame, but that's okay. We'll just patch it up. Next up, let's see if this is actually able to work. So if I place you, where is center? There's kind of center. Let's grab our city marble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I think it might only be 3. I hope it's only 3. Either way, that's not going to work because I've got a ritual here. Where can I put you? Well, I'll have to figure out a better location. Right now, I just put it on top of one of these rituals. I'll probably put like a little pedestal or something. But before we can do any of that, we need to actually make sure that this actually works. Go away, fish. I don't need you. In fact, let's get rid of the prismarine. I want to keep you. I don't need any caminite at the moment. I was working on a little bit of embers off camera there. I just wanted to set up a little bit of a embers farming area, but nothing too spectacular. Let's place you here, and being as it's not having that little dome thingy, I'm thinking this isn't going to work. Yeah. So I know that this does need to see the sky, but I was wondering whether or not the water would count as still seeing the sky. Apparently, it does not count, and I need to actually have this above ground. So let me take a look at that ship. Let me break this. So unfortunately, it looks like someone else already owns this ship, but that's something we can fix. Die! Well, I guess you're already undead, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Yeah, so that's cool. I should actually probably capture one of these guys in a vengeance box. I don't know if they drop anything interesting or not. Actually, you look like you're just a regular skeleton. Yeah, so if I capture you, you're just going to be a skeleton. That's boring. about you? You are the pirate captain. No, you're not. Is there a pirate captain? There usually is. No? Just a couple of random pirates. Okay, no big deal. So it looks like the ship is mine now. So let's get rid of you, and let's see if we can put together an area right here. This should work, I think. I think the whole thing doesn't need to see... Yeah, the whole thing doesn't need to see this guy, just the altar itself. Let's break this and put it in the ship, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that going to be too big? 2, 3, 4, 5. And it actually has to go out one further. 5. 3, 4. Yeah, we'll make this work. Alrighty, last block. Let's place you down. And that should, there we go. Starry Night means that it is working as expected. There's only one star over here, though. That should be the star at the regular base, but that might actually be up above. There should be 2. Well, if it's up above, that's fine. I can just jump down. And it looks like we are up top. So that's, no big deal. Now, from here, I should see 2. Okay, so that works. Can I... Okay, cool. So I now can get back and forth. I'm not really happy with this because it's not as, well, it's not really what I was hoping for. I was hoping for like a nice entryway down below there inside the air bubble, but for now, this will do. I can at least get back and forth a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and head on down. Let's turn flight on so we can move around a little bit quicker. So, like I said, we've got this area in the middle, which I think I'm actually going to go down a few more layers. We do still have a bit of a guardian problem. Where was the one that was attacking me just now? One was attacking me. Anyway, we do have a bit of a guardian problem. They do just kind of go straight through the wall, because it's not really a wall, it's just water. Kind of an issue, kind of not, kind of don't care. They don't hurt me anyway, even if I let them like shoot me all the way. So I'm not too worried about it. It's just kind of a thing. But yeah, here's what I've got so far. We've got, like I said, there's the 5 bubbles here, the one in the middle. We've got some glowstone around the edge here. I'm not sure if I want to keep this glowstone here. I do want to keep this glowstone on the outside, because from the outside here it looks pretty nice if I keep flight going. There we go. Now, right now it just kind of is flat on the bottom. I'm going to fix that. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm also not entirely, I'm really just kind of making up the architecture as I go on this. But for now, the main thing is I want to have a big pit in the middle. And as you can see here, I have a spirit furnace. This one right here, as you can see, is farming guardians. It's working. So that I just wanted to start up so I'd at least have some prismarine and all that. I'm not sure if that's in the final location. I might actually end up putting like kind of hallways underneath here. So we've got the little petals on the outside, and then we'll have a hallway that'll be lined with these. I think that's what I'm going to do. But for now, this is a location. So let me do a little bit more building. So I had an idea when I was digging around. I was really missing my haste. So here at the base I have haste 2 because of the beacon over there, but I don't really have it anywhere else. And I got to thinking, you know, something I hadn't tried for a while is this guy, the primed pendant. Now this guy, if we can remember, is something I tried a while ago with the flight, or rather levitation I guess is the name of it. I tried that. But it didn't work. Namely, it would keep applying it, but it wasn't actually really giving me the effect. So it looked like it was working, but it wasn't really. I'm thinking that's because it was not a vanilla thing. It's not really intended to be applied. But this guy, I think this guy will work. So I've got the blood in there. I've got the potion. I think I just stand in here now. Maybe? Pretty sure that's how it works. Yes? No? You probably need to be a water bottle, actually. Let me fill this up. So let's run down here, grab a little water, and let's try this again. I'm pretty sure this is how it works. I can't remember. Like I said, I tried it a while ago, and it... yeah, now you're in there. Okay, so that should work then. Any potion effects? No? Let me read up on this. Well, according to our book here, recently I noticed that this machine allows you to remove potion effects from living creatures sitting inside of it by filling the purifier completely with blood, check, and giving it an empty bottle. After a few seconds, the effect will be contained in the bottle, and a creature will be freed of it. So, you are a bottle, yes? You seem to be. You are floating, which is probably what it's supposed to be. So I guess we just sit in here longer? Maybe? I feel like I should be seeing potion effects of some sort. Nope. There we go. Anything? Does not seem to be working. Well, luckily that is not our only method of getting this. You can see here from Botania we have a Haste 2 potion. In fact, do I want a vial or a flask? It doesn't really matter because I'm planning on trying to pull this off with the purifier again anyway, but I'm going to do it outside of the range of my beacon because I think because it's a beacon effect is why it's not working. So Haste 2 here is nether wart, sugar, and a gold nugget. So let's grab that. I need 1 sugar, nether wart, probably 2 words, nether wart, and gold nugget. And I think, oh, I don't have any living rock on me. Living rock. I need 6 of you, I believe. So that should be the recipe here. Pop you in. Botanical brewery. So I do need to put some mana into this, but I believe I should have quite a bit of mana up here. I've got a bunch of the all those mana tablets from before, so it should be good enough. And you probably want a mana spreader as well, and a mana pool. And do I want anything else in here? Oh, mana glass. I need to actually make the flask itself, which you are just 3 mana glass. So 1, 2, 3. Toss you back in. Okay, let's craft that up. We want 1 of you. Check. In fact, you are just elf glass, I think. Yeah, this is 3 elf glass. I might as well do that one. Yeah, let's do that one instead. Mana glass, go away. So just in case I can't actually pull this off, this way I'll at least get more out of it. Well, nothing fancy, but we're going to just put it right here. We've got a mana spreader here. We've got our botanical brewery as well. Let's go ahead and toss an elf glass. And I also need, what was it? A nether wart, and sugar, and gold nugget. And that should start filling up. And let me grab my wand here. That's not my wand. You should be able to watch it. Oh, almost done. Just earned the achievement Childhood Blues. Not really sure what that's about, but okay. So if we break you and we go outside the range of our beacon, because I think if it's applied by the beacon it's not going to work. So let's go over here. Why not? So we've got 7 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, good enough. Put down our purifier. Check. Fill it with blood. Fill it with blood. Thank you. Toss our glass bottle in. We don't want our levitate to be on either. Go away. Go away. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and drink our potion here. Flask of Adrenaline with Haste 2. And let's see if we can get this thing to work. Anything? Maybe. I feel like it did take a little while, but it didn't take this long. Okay, so bottle's in there, blood's there. If I stand on this with levitate, it's going. It's bubbling. I'm not really sure why. If I stand here now... Okay. Let's drink another. That's annoying. Now, here's a question. I might actually be able to just get around this and just use the flask in here directly. I don't think I can. Yeah, didn't think so. But it's worth a shot. Okay, that's kind of weird. What I can do instead, if I go to, what is this, Haste, and I look at the incense stick, this gets me apparently 90 minutes of Haste 2. So, gas tier, blaze powder, and a living wood twig. That is pretty cheap. I'm just going to craft a bunch of these guys. Oh, and let me also do incense. I need an incense burner as well, if I recall. Incense plate, which is just living wood slabs and living wood. Awesome. Okay, here we go. We've got incense sticks. Let's get 3 of these guys. Apparently don't stack. I've got 3 incense plates. I don't actually plan on using all 3 at the moment. I'm just going to use 1. But this way at least I, again, have things crafted. Let's go ahead. We need to toss out our incense stick. So you're in the middle there. Okay. And we also need nether wart and gold nugget and sugar. That should start crafting up. That's going to take quite a lot of mana if I recall, but this mana pool is linked up to the main mana battery downstairs, which last I checked is completely full. So this will take a little while. I think once the first one gets done, then I'm going to just kind of go off and start building. Not quite sure what the range is on this thing, but let's go ahead and toss this down right here. And brew of haste, you go right there. And I believe I actually probably need to start you on fire in order to start that. Which I think I have a flint and steel around here somewhere. Let's see, tools. Probably in here, don't need you anymore. I think, yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and start this guy. Awesome. So it's a very short-lived thing. It's only like 3 seconds there, but it's pretty much the whole area, and it will last for 90 minutes. Now, I do want to see what the range is, like I said, which is going out to here. So that is actually more range than I need, which is pretty much perfect. Sounds good to me. Let's clear this out. So, not only am I a mage, I am also a master at time travel. If we look around, we can see quite a lot has been done. Now, as it turns out, I actually had a couple different clips showing what I was doing here, and how I built it, and all that, and what all's going on here. Yeah, turns out OBS stopped recording the audio. I'm not really sure why. I think it was somewhere between clips I tabbed out or something. I don't know. So let's go over what I've done. You can see I've dug out quite a lot here. I've got some decorations on the walls as well. We've got the steadfast stone and dark prismarine. I've decided to go with kind of a aquatic theme here. We'll get into more of that. This is actually back from. I've already filmed the next episode, and yeah. So we've got the aquatic theme here. I'm using a lot of prismarine and the polished raw stone as well. I've got lots of coloring in here. In the middle, I have, this is where my incense was before that I just placed down. Let's keep our flight up. And that's going to stay here, actually. And down here, we have liquid death. Now, it turns out this doesn't actually flow as far as water does. It only goes out, I think, 3 blocks in each direction, which is less than ideal, but we can make it work. I might actually break this down another level here to be able to make it flow all the way to the edge. But for the most part, it doesn't really matter. If we go underneath here, I can show you what I've done. We've got here a single chest with an advanced item collector on top. This guy here is just set for the full radius here. Everything's going to get sucked into this. Precantatio from that... Oh, I threw a witch in here. Yeah, so it gets you your V crystals, all the different drops, which are then going through an input routing node. That is going to take us back upstairs. So let's cap this off here. You and you. Close you up. And let's be careful not to fall into there. That currently is just going to this oak chest here. This is not really anything special. It's just collecting the items that have been collected. Lots of arrows and such like that. The reason from that... Why is our guardian in here? Go away. So the arrows are because if I go to my appropriate spell, I can throw him back here. We have a spawner. Now this is a spawner from the bottom of the roguelike dungeons. And the cool thing about these is that they spawn with lots of armor. Usually like diamond or iron. Yeah, and some gold, I guess. So the cool thing with that is they have a chance of dropping that when they die. And when they die, everything gets sucked up and sent up here. I've already repaired a couple things, thrown them into deconstructors, and we still get the crystals from them. We get all their drops. Good times all around. Go away, Guardian. I don't like you. Over here, we moved our two... Actually, yeah, we made 2 of these. Spirit furnaces are up here now. These are just filling up chests right now, just filling up lots of drops. This will all be into a sorting system later on, but that will be another episode. Have a nice little pathway over here. That's going to be what we're working on next episode. But like I said, we are actually in the future right now, so we're going to call this for an episode. Like I said, I had gone through all this, but unfortunately no audio means it was kind of not really valid video. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We got a lot done. We've got this whole area. I also decorated a little bit up top there. We've got this whole area dug out. We've got kind of a basic idea of what's going to be going in here. We're going to have spirit furnaces around the outside here. We're going to have some storage. We're going to have some automation. We're going to have lots of stuff in here. But we've got the basics set out already. Hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you. Bye-bye.